In just a minute, this is going to automatically exit this sleep hibernation mode and go back into regular mode. Now, of course, if I press another button twice in a row, the other nice thing is when you're asleep at night, look how dim that is. If you look really carefully, oh, it booted up. For just a second, you saw the moon and the stars. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat. So now it's coming out of hibernation mode. Hibernation mode. Cue the lights. That's right. Last night I was in smart mode, and then it automatically goes into a sleep state, and OnePlus calls it hibernation mode. Ever since the update, I can't seem to find where to turn that off. And then after the phone first boots up, it does take a hot minute, literally, for you to be able to use the phone. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 and 5 did the same thing. Oh, no, it wants me to go into power saver mode. I'm gonna say, not now. So yesterday was day 8, and I found, or rather proved, a bug with this watch. When you're in power saver mode, it's kind of funny. You can't really see the battery life. I mean, you can, depending on which watch face, and you should be able to open up the app, and then the app will tell you what's going on with the watch and tell you the exact battery life. But when you're in power saver mode, the battery percentage is not reported accurately. And I don't know how else to tell you that, but it doesn't work. So last night I was at 25%, and that was around 18:30, and it dropped 5% overnight. But I did go through and use the battery optimization, and right now there's nothing to do. So in smart mode, it's telling me, oh, now it's 19%. It's telling me that I should be able to last 19 hours, which is typical. Basically 1% per hour is what it's draining when it gets really low. And then one thing it doesn't do is if I go to this little, I don't know why they did infinity, but it's a switch icon. And if I go to power saver mode, it doesn't actually tell me how much longer it's gonna. It doesn't give you an estimate like, hey, if you switch to power saver mode, instead of 19 hours, you could get 38 hours or 30 hours. It doesn't give you an estimate. So now it's saying 19%, but if I leave it in this mode, it's going to stay at 19% because yesterday it stayed at 42% almost all day. And then when I actually switched it over to smart mode, and then I could open up the battery saver app, because right now I cannot access the battery app. It's blocked along with many other apps, as you might already know. But still, I'm really impressed with how many apps you can use in power saver mode. It's still a smartwatch. You can monitor your stress, you can monitor SpO2, you can still do workouts, and quite a few workouts: running, outdoor walking, indoor walking, cycling, badminton. Badminton must be really popular with the OnePlus employees, because if you watch the OnePlus launch, they talked a lot about badminton, how you can track your swings and all these different stats. I don't play a lot of badminton, but I am going to see if I can use badminton tracking sport while I play pickleball. So that's coming soon if you want to follow my channel. You know how that works. So let's take a look at sleep now, since we're on day 9 officially. It's been a week and a change. It's been a week and change. And no, I'm not quite ready to return the watch. I like it. I like the way it wears on my wrist. I like the comfort factor. We'll get into that soon. Sleep. How does it compare to this older watch by Garmin? This is the Instinct Solar from the year 2020. So 4-year-old technology, but a lot of people feel that, Garmin is, ooh, and OnePlus is, oh. And the sleep, right? What's going on with the sleep with these two watches? Let's find out. On the left, we have, actually we need to swap these. I'm wearing the OnePlus on my left and the Garmin on my right. And it's kind of cool because both give roughly the same information when it comes on sleep. One downside to this being an older watch, it does not give the sleep score, but it does track SpO2 and it does track the normal stuff. And by normal stuff, I mean this: REM, deep sleep, light sleep, awake time. Sleep score is somewhat of a, how do we say, a common, not variable, but a common score now. But again, this one is 4 years old. And then recovery, readiness, neither of them have them. Resting heart rate, 74, 65. Lowest HR, 56 through OnePlus, 63 on the Garmin. 56 to 111 range, 64 to 126, SpO2 93 to 99, SpO2 in the Garmin. I'm not really trusting that it's that accurate, but the sleep score was 75 on OnePlus. Now, one thing OnePlus did not enable, you cannot edit your sleep. So if it made a mistake and you're trying to like, well, okay, there's my deep, there's my light, you know, you can see them in this graph. That's very useful. You can even bring in HR, but not SpO2. It's grayed out for some reason, but it is cool that you can see your heart rate on your sleep graph. That's a really nice feature. I don't believe Garmin has that for at least this watch, but we have the awake time. There we go. So if you're looking at just those 4 values, sleep, REM, deep, and light, they're pretty close. So that means OnePlus is right on par with Garmin. The light sleep was the only one that was really off by about 2 hours. The Instinct thought it was 2 hours more, but I'll be honest, I think this one is not as accurate as it should be. So we're going to swap it out for tonight's test, and we're going to use this one, the Garmin Instinct 2X Solar, which debuted last year. I think this technology may or may not give the OnePlus a run for the money. If you notice, see how different the sensor is and how much Garmin has improved it over the last 4 years. And likewise for OnePlus, this is their new sensor, you know, pretty cool. Lots more lights. Now, one day doesn't give us that much perspective. So let's go to yesterday, 8 hours and 31 minutes. Ooh, 8 hours and 31 minutes. Sleep score 79. A nice thing about OnePlus, it gives you this feedback. Deep sleep, 21%. Keep it up, and then more info, I'll let you read that. Deep sleep 1 hour 39, 1 hour 25. Light sleep 5, light sleep 6 hours and 9. REM 1 hour and 18, REM 57. Awake time 5 times, total of 16 minutes, 3 minutes awake. Breathing saturation, which is kind of cool. That does zap the battery life on the OnePlus greatly. Heart rate range, sleep environment. Now, if you have the snoring going, and your watch is tracking a bunch of stuff in the background, it does give you your sleep environment. Mine is 18 to 33 decibels, which I feel is pretty quiet. Now, if we go for the whole week, this is kind of cool, and I can do the same for this watch. Average sleep, 1 hour and 44. Average light, 4 hour and change. REM, awake 10 minutes. Quite a bit different on the Garmin. But again, old technology, brand new technology. OnePlus claims that they did a ton of research on this bad boy, and it is accurately giving you consistent data. We can even go to the month, and it gives us a whole breakdown of deep, light, REM, and awake. Notice they do remove sleep score. So daily average down by 3, but here I have the sleep score. It might be because this is not a full month, and it does not have enough data. Since I've decided to keep the watch, I should have that soon. Now, if we go to heart rate, we also have week, month averages, which is really cool by OnePlus. If I go to Garmin, do I get the same? So here's my heart rate graph. I go to 7 days, yes, 4 weeks, and even by year, you can see the gaps when I wasn't wearing a watch for this account. Cool beans. Cool. Ooh, what is that? There's a little red thing. Oh, that's because I had 2 alerts. So I had a high heart rate on that day, which is interesting because this one has it as well, but I have not gotten any high or low heart rates yet on the OnePlus Watch, but I do have that enabled. If you go to devices, workout and health, heart rate monitoring, yes. Resting heart rate, yes. High heart rate, 120, yeah. Low heart rate, 45. I want to say, probably do heart rate 140. Exit power saver mode in your watch. Yeah, so it's not tracking it right now because it went into power saver mode because the battery got so low. So again, remember earlier it says 19%. Is it really? I mean, it says 19. I don't believe it. Okay, now let's look at day 8 stats on the OnePlus. 328 calories. 6,322 steps, heart rate range, not a feature flight of stairs, so this does not track flight of stairs yet. And then we have stress, 20 to 60, which is really nice. I like that the OnePlus app and the watch give you a value for stress and not just color bars like Samsung and several other watches. And then we have average SpO2. I didn't have SpO2 turned on, but the Garmin will measure SpO2 during the day. We'll do that when we compare another watch with it. 16 hours were active yesterday. They don't really have that on Garmin. Intensity minutes, about the same kind of. OnePlus detected that I did somewhat of a workout for 5 minutes yesterday, and I got 6 minutes total intensity. So similar, but again, active hours, not a thing in Garmin yet. And then 7 flights of stairs. You know, it is something I wish OnePlus was going to do, but I understand why they didn't. Yeah, when you're talking about flights of stairs, a lot of people will agree with me that even Garmin and Apple and other companies that have their wearables track flights of stairs, they can be off by 1 or 2, sometimes more flights per day. And perhaps OnePlus felt the technology isn't quite there to meet their watch, but they also were trying to keep the price down. Whereas Garmin watches, they've been tracking it for quite some time. You might notice a lot of edits, and that's because getting over an illness and I'm having to take a lot of deep breaths. But that's why there's the little blip, blip, blip. So there you go. Day 9, and I'm on my second 100-hour battery test. I'll be doing a video about that separately. Garmin versus OnePlus. I mean, if you're upgrading from the Instinct Solar to this, wow, you're in for a big change. I actually feel that over the last 4 years, this one has been somewhat going downhill in the accuracy just because the hardware is getting old and there's just so many updates Garmin can do for it. And this one has some of the latest and greatest software. Does it have the best heart rate sensor? The most accurate GPS? Not so much, not so much. For the price range, if you can get it for 200, 250, it's a pretty good deal. I am gonna see if I can do a 12-day test fully in power saver mode. I'm really curious to what will happen. The app, O Health, there's pros and cons about it. I'll get to those in another video. I just wanted to talk about sleep, the sleep stats. I wish you could edit the sleep. You can't. You can in Garmin. You can in Samsung. This is an Oura Ring. The Oura Rings, you can edit your sleep. Some of the apps only let you reduce your sleep, but Garmin and Samsung let you add sleep. If OnePlus made a mistake and thought I only slept 5 hours last night, I can't tell the watch that I went to bed at 10, but I can for Garmin. And the other thing that O Health and the watch are really completely missing, there's no leaderboard. You can't share your stats quickly with your friends. You can't do step challenges, any of that. But maybe they'll add that. Who knows? That would be cool. OnePlus, if you're listening, I would like to have a leaderboard. I think that would be very much fun. Thank you for watching. I'll have another video out soon. One more difference on these two watches. You can view your sleep and your sleep score right on the watch. You cannot do that on this older Garmin, and there's a few other watches that don't let you view your sleep. I hope you have a wonderful day and happy Pi Day. Goodbye.